I just got back from the London Motorcycle Show. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, I've just come back from an epic ride on the heroic Harley, and I traipsed all the way across London to the London Motorcycle Show. Today is the first day of the 3-day event, and what did I think? Well, it's actually really good. I really enjoyed it. But some notable absentees. Harley Davidson were there, and they had a really nice stand, actually. Coincidentally, as I was walking through, I was one of the first people to arrive at the event this morning, and I actually got there just after 8 o'clock, and I think they opened the doors bang on 9 o'clock, so I was sort of milling around for quite a while. Anyway, as soon as I walked in, I walked up to the Harley Davidson stand, and yeah, it was one of the guys there from my local dealership, so we had a nice little chinwag, so big shout out to Jay there. So it was, it was a really nice big display, nice light and air. Yeah, it was good. BMW had a really big stand as well, and they were rammed. I mean, Harley Davidson and BMW, in fact, the Triumph were there as well. They're all rammed as the day went on. But say, all really good stands there. Suzuki, Yamaha, Kawasaki, they were there as well. Norton were there as well. But some really big absentees. So Honda, they were totally not there at all. Well, when I say they're totally not there, they had a kind of a very, very small miniature display of a celebration, if you like, of the Fireblade. But that was about it. So I was wondering, well, where are they? Ducati weren't there. I was really surprised that Ducati weren't there. But say, they weren't there. Moto Guzzi weren't there, which I wasn't really surprised by. But Indian weren't there. And I was wondering, well, where is Indian? Now, granted, I haven't been to the London Motorcycle Show in a couple of years now. I hadn't realised it'd been that long. But I thought they were always present. But obviously not. So, yeah, a real miss there. But I say, in terms of who was there, yeah, a decent show. There wasn't really, an entertainment vibe from the stands. It was just kind of business, doing what they do and kind of what they should be doing, really. So that goes for all the three Japanese. Royal Enfield were there as well, of course. As I say, but Triumph, Norton had a smaller stand, but yeah, still a decent presence. KTM were there. Now Husqvarna, which is really interesting. MV Agusta were there though. So some really nice bikes on display. But one of the outliers that I've been talking about for quite a while is CF Moto, the Chinese brand. And they were there. And some of their bikes, you've got to look at CF Moto, I've got to say, for just value for money and the types of bikes that they're producing. But, absolutely phenomenal. The BMW stand, as I say, got really rammed throughout the day. And again, it was just a really nice line of bikes on display. But they had this R18B, the bagger there, and it had this kind of really deep blue colour. I don't know what the colour is. I haven't done the research, but let us know in the comments anyway. Under the lights, it looked absolutely phenomenal. Really nice bike. Really nice to sit on as well. Good ergonomics. Looked really good. I just can't get over the big, the big hips on the thing. It's with those pots sticking out the side. I mean, they are ginormous. And I've ridden the R18, which I thought was a really nice bike. But I do prefer the bagger version, or even the Transcontinental, which is kind of the big tourer with the top box, of course. Those are really nice bikes. But I say they had, interestingly, I noticed this for a lot of the manufacturers there. Well, I want to say a lot of them, but I noticed on 2 or 3 of the stands, of course, where they had the brand new model, but they were also showing the older model or the older version. And it was hard to know, well, which is the one that they're selling as the brand new model. BMW definitely did this. They did the 1300 GS, but they also had the 1250 GS kind of right next to it as well. And it seems as if, well, they're still selling both, I suppose, but one was kind of just perched on the end, but you still had the big GS in the middle. But I mean, that's just me, I suppose. But as I say, there's a good range of bikes. Harley Davidson, good range of bikes. They all had the CVOs there. They had the Street Glide and the Road Glide there as well. And they had a few custom bikes here and there. So it was a really nice display. I mean, I've been critical of Harley Davidson in the past, of their kind of gloomy vibe to their stands, but no, it's a complete 180 for them. It's kind of light and airy. It was all open, as it were. Yeah, and it was good, and it was kind of right in the center of the venue as well. One big, huge room for the display, so it was really good. I've got to say that the London Motorcycle Show, as opposed to the big motorcycle live show, seems to have a bit more of a we're going to entertain you, we're going to speak to you a little bit more vibe, and I'll tell you what I mean. So basically you've got it's just one big room, if you can imagine, one huge room, and you've got all the manufacturers around, and then you've got all the vendors selling their stuff. Some nice little tech on sale as well, some new innovations I thought was quite interesting, so that was good. So from a show itself, from a vendor's point of view, I thought it was really good. But right smack bang in the middle of the event, they had this kind of indoor enduro course, or hard enduro course, which was, quite entertaining to see these guys sort of spin around and the talent that they've got. But on one corner, they had all these old bikes. I mean, really old bikes. We're talking, 1910 bikes. And I think they've come from either the London Motorcycle Museum or the National Motorcycle Museum as well. But some bikes I, hadn't heard of really. The Walmer, I think it was, the Pick, some fantastic bikes. And they were just in immaculate condition, pristine condition. But that was just one corner. Then in the other corner, you had TV personality, motorcycle personality, Henry Cole, and he was putting on various shows talking about mechanics and things like that. But one of the key guys there who also works with him on TV is a guy called Alan Millyard. If you've ever come across this guy, you'll know exactly who I'm on about. He's got a YouTube channel as well, very popular. But he's kind of this crazy, well, he's not crazy, he's a mad scientist, but he just works in his workshop at home, in his garage, as it were. But he just builds bikes. He'll just get engines, split them apart, and fuse them together, as it were, to make these even bigger engines. And it's just amazing. But just listening to the guy talk was just mind-blowing, really. What the kind of things he was doing with relatively basic tools. Yeah, he had a lathe and a welder and all that sort of stuff, but the knowledge he's got, and the way he was talking was so matter-of-fact about certain things, and we're all thinking, Christ, how would you do that? How would you do that? But it was just, he would be building engines and building things completely in his workshop. In terms of a whole crankshaft he would be building, engine cases he would just cut and fuse together and make a brand new engine. And this is the level we're talking about. He's making a brand new engine. So unbelievable. So that was one corner. Then the other corner you had Charlie Borman stand, who's like the adventure bikes as well, and then the other stand was the Motorcycle News stand, which is kind of sponsoring the event. It's their event, really, and it's all about motorcycle racing, really. So there were 3 separate stages, as it were, all giving talks. So that was really good. You had the center part, which is like the hard enduro indoor course, and obviously you had all the vendors and manufacturers around. It was a good vibe, I've got to say. I was really quite impressed with it this year. Not on the scale of a Motorcycle Live, and then possibly, I suppose similar to the Manchester show as well. But I was really pleased for Harley Davidson, actually, that they'd done away with this gloominess. It was a good vibe. It wasn't the party vibe of years ago. Nothing like that at all. In fact, none of the stands had that. It was just business, as it were. They had all the bikes on display. Loads of people there, as is always the case. Just helping you out and taking down your details for a test ride. I'm hoping to get a test ride on one of the new street glides and road glide as well. So that'll be good. We were kind of just talking a lot about the new bikes and the new infotainment system and the offers, and we were kind of talking about finance quite a lot as well. And I kind of said this before, yes, they're expensive bikes, but in many ways that they are cheaper, or they're just as expensive as they were last year. But you've got all this new engine, you've got this new technology as well, so you're kind of getting a much better deal now. Yes, granted, still expensive. They look good. The bikes look good, or that's all I can say. And there are a couple of bikes there that I think a couple of dealerships are customised as well. Yeah, so it was good. It was good all around, I'd say. So BMW, Harley Davidson, I think Triumph as well. I think they led the show. I was just perplexed, really, why Indian wasn't there. Certainly Ducati and certainly Honda. I mean, I know the London Motorcycle Show doesn't have the big hit, let's say, the Motorcycle Live Show, which is the biggest indoor event. In fact, I think it's the biggest motorcycle event in the UK. That happens in November, of course. And all the big players are usually always there. But I'm just surprised that they're not here. They weren't here at the London show. Even to have a smaller stand, I thought they would, but there we go. So if anybody knows why they weren't there, let us know. For Harley Davidson, I think this is a perfect motorcycle show for them to be present at. They weren't present at the Motorcycle Live show, and I kind of said at the time, I'm sure the reason is because their product launches in January, and then the London Motorcycle Show is just a month later. It kind of makes sense just to be present at this one and show your brand new bikes there. I know it's not for the whole country. The whole country doesn't come to the London Motorcycle Show, but it's a much better event to expose. Is that the right word? To expose your products. But as I say, I was walking around like a journalist, with my notepad as well, making notes as well. As I say, my notes here, as I say, you got no Honda, no Ducati, no Husqvarna, no Indian, which I thought was interesting. As I say, the BMW and the Harley Davidson stand were highlights for me. Oh yes, BSA were there as well. They still have their Gold Star, but they also had their newish Scrambler there as well. That looked really good. I say the stages all around, all the entertainment, the talks, they were really good as well. And obviously the centre part, that was really good for the hard enduro. So CF Moto, as I say, again, I'm going to harp on about them, but CF Moto, in terms of the bikes that they've got, limited bikes, granted, okay, they're not a huge manufacturer, of course, but the bikes that they've got, but just the price of them, you think about Royal Enfield a few years ago when you're thinking, wow, these are really good value. So then you add Royal Enfield type value, but then add modern technology, as it were, and then you've got to think, wow, hey, they are competitively priced here. They are in the market to gain your attraction, and I think, hey, listen, I think there's a link up. Yeah, there's a link up with KTM as well there. So yeah, some really good stuff there. As I say, the Harley CVOs, they had those there, and the other 2024 bikes. Triumph, they have the new Tiger 1200, which I think has been officially launched or available here in the UK in spring, and they also had the motocross, so the TF250 as well, and as I say, the BSA Scrambler was there as well. So lots of highlights on the motorcycle show. I know sometimes I can be quite critical, but I kind of always like to have a bit of balanced view of this, or I may come across as being critical, but I kind of always say it as I see it, as it were. And I say, whilst it isn't a big show, and I kind of walked around, I was kind of walk around, and I thought, I've seen enough now. So it's only so much you can see, right? But it got really, really busy, and the stands got really busy afterwards, as I say. But it was a decent show, as I say. The odd thing I just noted, I don't think it's a thing, right? I just thought it seemed as if that some of the manufacturers, I seem to recall Kawasaki, maybe Triumph, certainly BMW, were having the brand new model, and then alongside they're having the older model there, front and center. And it just appeared to me that I don't know which is the brand new model, as it were. If I didn't know anything about bikes, I would say, all these are of equal importance, as it were. So yeah, a bit of an interesting one there, but let's say all good. There's lots of vendors there, obviously trying to sell their wares and stuff like that, and it was decent. I didn't go and look too closely, I've got to say. I was more interested in going to the stands just to see what the public talks were about. I really like that, and the usual food vendors are there as well. I mean, listen, the food vendors are there, whatever they are, they're selling whatever it's up to you whether you buy it or not, of course. It's all that sort of stuff. Same with the vendors that are selling their products as well. I couldn't tell you whether people would be getting a good deal or not because I didn't actually go up to them, I gotta say. It was quite interesting. I did see quite a few vendors there, a handful of vendors that weren't motorcycle related at all, which I thought was a bit strange. There's like the food delivery company to your home, HelloFresh, were there as well. There was a couple of others that I just thought, well, I'm not sure what's this got to do with motorcycling. Now, of course, motorcyclists are normal people, of course. Bikers are normal people, so, why not be interested in other type of products? But it just didn't seem to be related to motorcycling at all. And they weren't alone. I can't remember what the other ones were, but there was like a handful of companies there, and I thought a bit of an odd one, really, but there we go. But let's say, look, London Motorcycle Show, this is Friday. I literally just got back, so I thought I'd tell you what's what. Yeah, if you're around this weekend, go give it a go. It's at the XL Centre, and it was a great ride in this morning, bit of a pig riding back, but I got to do a lot of sightseeing as well. So my route, it took me all around the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, the Mall, Trafalgar Square, Hyde Park Corner. I was going everywhere. Oh, the Tower London, Tower Bridge. Oh, crikey, I was everywhere. Billingsgate Fish Market. I also went past there, which is a bit of a high for me as well. But there we go. But anyway, so if you're around there this weekend, listen, go give it a go. Why not? It was good fun. I would say, certainly from my point of view, I would say get there as early as you can, early doors, and then you'll be able to walk around and have a really good look at the bikes before all the crowds get there. I mean, I would say from about 9 to about 10:30, 11, you'll have a much better view of the bikes. Thereafter, there's just so many people there that you kind of trying to get in amongst them, and it's not as easy to do that. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I'll catch you again in another video coming very soon. Bye now.